Good morning and welcome to the show. Today we're going to show you how to save some money. And we're going to start out with Vonda Gaynor, my friend, otherwise known as the Coupon Queen. Vonda, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Don.
You know, we love money-saving tips today.
Yes.
And I know you've got a bunch of them with you, but one of the common things that I think when people talk to you is, because you are the Coupon Queen, where do all these coupons come from? You have to like buy a bunch of newspapers and magazines, and I mean, where do you get them all?
Now, everybody has an advantage because of social media. If there's a favorite product or brand that you like or a viewer likes, go to Facebook, look up their page. 99, almost 100% of them have coupons that you can print out.
So if there's a product or a brand you like, they'll have a Facebook page.
Yes.
Holy mackerel.
And
then you go to that and just go, you know, whatever it is, you know, Lux Liquid or whatever, I don't know, you look for it.
Everything.
Or paper towels, your favorite paper towels.
Yes, everything.
And you'll get a coupon right there.
Yes.
On Facebook.
Or email, especially for meats and produce. My youngest daughter is vegan, so her diet is very, very expensive. So she got me to try these dates called Medjool dates. So I went to the store. They're like $7 for a little container of dates. And I'm, there's no way I'm paying $7 for these dates. That's not going to happen. So
Vonda doesn't pay retail.
So I went to the company's website, and they had $2 off coupons, plus they mailed me some in the mail. So if there's a favorite product that you like, just contact them via email. A short, hi, this is Sue, I love your products, but they're kind of pricey.
I love
Can
your
you send me
dates.
coupons?
Can you help me out?
Yes.
All you got to do is ask.
All you have to do is ask.
I have a friend of mine who says that. He says, you don't ask, you don't get.
That's right.
And what is that, 5 minutes out of your life to send them an email?
To send them an email.
And where would you get the email address? Maybe right on the packaging? Or do you
right
do a
on the
little
packaging
Google
or
search?
Google. Typically I Google because it's so much faster.
Sure. You just Google up your favorite product and then you're off to the races, and they will actually mail them to you.
They will actually mail them to you.
So besides the, Karen does the Sunday newspaper with all the inserts and all, and there's all kinds of products there that you can click coupons on. So that's probably the most, widely recognized source of coupons.
Yes.
But social media, I didn't even know about that. I mean, who would think of it? But I guess that's kind of the sign of the times.
I recommend it actually even over the inserts that come in the paper, because a lot of people get excited. They see all these coupons, but you do not want to spend money buying something just because you have a coupon for it.
Yeah.
You can end up spending more than what you're saving.
So really, if you have your shopping list and make that your shopping list of coupons.
Yes.
And then just Google that up.
Yes.
I've also seen this, Vonda, and I don't know if it's a real savings or not, but you ever see sometimes in the stores, we'll have a little dispenser where you can like pull a coupon out right there in the store?
Yes.
Is that kind of a come on, or is that legit? Can you
No.
save money using those?
It's legit. And when you see those machines, you always want to get 2 coupons, never just one. Because you have to take advantage of the buy one, get one free deals.
Oh.
So you always want to make sure you get at least 2. But no, and you don't have to use it that day. Save it until the item that you want or like goes on sale.
Well, that's true. For a guy like me, you see the coupon, it's like you pull it and it's like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
But take it anyway and keep it. And who knows, you may need it next week or in 2 weeks or whatever.
Yes.
And you said get 2 coupons.
Get 2.
So if you buy one, get one free, and you present two coupons, do you get it for free?
No, but I'm glad you brought that up. This is very important. Anytime a store has something on sale that's buy one, get one free, we'll say dishwashing liquid. If a store has Dawn dishwashing liquid on sale, buy one, get one free, and you have a buy one, get one free coupon for Dawn, that's going to make it free. A buy one, get one free coupon for a buy one, get one free deal makes it free, always.
If you buy one.
Buy 2.
If you buy 2.
Yep, because you're getting one for free.
Awesome. And then you're stocked up on dishwashing.
And then you're stocked up on dishwashing liquid.
So sources for coupons, just to recap, newspapers.
Yes.
Social media. Emails.
Yes. Contacting them directly.
And in the stores.
And in the store. And don't be scared to ask the store. Go to customer service and ask them, do you have any coupons for this?
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see those flyers right as you walk in.
Yep.
You know, a store flyer, and I see people thumbing through that, walking through the
Yes.
stores all the time. So that's another way to find some deals.
Yes, you'd be surprised.
It's your money. You work hard for it. Get some mileage out of it.
Exactly.
Vonda the Coupon Queen, thank you so much for those money-saving tips on how to get coupons. And we'll be right back after your Waking Up with Don weather. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Laura Nelson from A-List Accounting, and we're going to talk about the Affordable Care Act and what that means to you around tax time. Laura, welcome back to the show. Yeah, it's a real pleasure to see you too. You always bring good news.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what are some of the things we should think about when it comes to tax time and the Affordable Care Act?
Basically, you're going to first start out with more paperwork,
Naturally.
more questions, because you've got to now prove that you had insurance, or of course tell them that you didn't have insurance.
So the IRS is the mechanism in which the government is using to make sure everyone has insurance.
Correct.
So now if you have insurance, you have to say, here's my insurance. This is what I have.
Correct. And identify where it was, basically. And then if you don't have insurance, then you get a tax as well.
Or a fine,
Yes,
which they
it's
call
a
the
fine.
tax.
Correct.
Which, so you don't have insurance, just to make you feel better, they fine you,
Yep.
which the Supreme Court has called a tax now.
Correct.
So basically, your government is forcing you to buy a product, otherwise you have to pay the tax.
That is correct.
Is it cheaper for some people just to pay the fine?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
And who would that be? What we call those indestructible 20-somethings?
Oh, not necessarily. Depending on, like your middle class, they have a family, they're making around $40,000 together, but then they've got to pay, $1,500 to $2,000 a month on insurance for a family of 4 to 5.
Wow.
And you just can't, so paying a percentage of that at year end is cheaper.
And that would be an actual rate for some people? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
seems pretty steep.
Yeah, because depending on what bracket you fall under, you've got the marketplace. So, you can test it out there and see what your rate is. You might be $700 on there, depending on qualifications there. So, you just got to shop around more or less.
So what are some of the other pitfalls? Say you get this insurance from the government, and you make under whatever that threshold is
Correct.
to get a reduced rate, and then you do your taxes and you find out, oops, I make
I make
that
more.
little. I made more than I thought.
Yep.
What happens then?
They'll now compare the two. They'll compare your tax return and they'll compare your marketplace information, and they'll get their money back from where they gave you a credit.
It just gets better and better all the time, Laura
Yes.
Nelson. You're just like a little ray of sunshine here on the Waking Up with Don show. I need to go to a commercial break to recuperate from all this. But on the other side of that, let's talk about what people can do to avoid these pitfalls.
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back with Laura Nelson from A-List Accounting after these messages. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Laura Nelson from A-List Accounting, and we're talking about Obamacare, otherwise known as the Affordable Care Act. And I guess the best tip you can give people at tax time, and even before tax time, is to be honest.
Just to be honest. Yes. Fill out the marketplace information correctly to the best of your ability so that you won't get, hit at year end.
Yeah, so you don't get screwed. Unbelievable. And a lot of people are. Now, what if you're not that savvy with computers? What if you're an elderly person and, you can't go out to the marketplace or...
There's insurance agents out there in which can assist them and either put them on the marketplace or give them a plan of theirs. So, there's different avenues to take.
So you really have to shop around.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so you have to have insurance or you get fined.
Correct.
And if you underreport your earnings and you get the, what did you call it?
It's the credit that
The credit,
they give you,
the
reduction.
healthcare credit, deduction or whatever it is,
Right.
and you find out you made more money,
Right.
you've got to pay all that back. So basically, it's a big mess. You've got to
Right.
do quite a few forms now. You got to do another form. You got to report your health insurance to the IRS.
Yep.
You got to be very careful when receiving that credit for health care.
Yes.
It just sounds like it's wrought with peril for normal people.
Yes. Yeah. So it's not fun, but
No, it's not
part
fun.
of it.
It's just another little wrinkle that we have to deal with in our lives. And thank God we have people like you and insurance agents to kind of pilot us through this mess.
Walk you through it, yep.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Laura. And if people want to get in touch with you, we can find you on Facebook?
Yes, Facebook, A-List Accounting.
A-List Accounting, Laura Nelson. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Heather Noyes from Raymond James Financial here in Panama City. Heather, you've done some studying, or someone's been doing some studying.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
I guess it's MIT.
Right, MIT started back in 1999 with what they call their AGE lab. And it's from the School of Engineering, but since then they've incorporated the students, the medical students, as well as their business students.
And the purpose of this AGE lab, or AGE study, is to figure out what's best for an aging population, I suppose?
Absolutely. I mean, they realize that the issue of longevity is there, and again, they were originally working with car makers on, the engineering group was working with car makers on things that were...
The ergonomics of being old.
Exactly.
And maybe not as flexible as us youngsters who can crawl into our sports cars and stuff.
Exactly. So now they're focusing, back in 2006, they started focusing on the understanding of, I guess, the retirees' perception of some challenges that they may be facing. And really it boils down, it sounds really simplistic, but there's three main things that they've boiled it down to. And the first one is, who's going to change my light bulb? How will I get an ice cream cone? And who will I have lunch with?
Okay. So who's going to change my light bulb, I guess, is just, keeping up with things around the house.
Right. The average retiree, over 90% of them say that they want to stay in their home, which, as a younger individual, maintaining your home, doing minor repairs, you take all of those things for granted, even something as simple as changing a light bulb. I mean, would you want your mother up on a ladder, maybe changing a light bulb? I mean, even something as minor as that. So we're looking at these issues in retirement and trying to figure out who's going to do those basic maintenance. I mean, you're far away from your parents, so you can't just drive over to their house and take care of their maintenance issues. So they're going to have some additional funds to take care of those things.
And what about getting your ice cream cone?
We'll get the ice cream cone next week.
Okay, but right now we'll focus on the light bulb.
Right. The other...
so that's part of your financial plan.
Absolutely it is, and taking into account the expenses that may be associated with it. Some of the other expenses, there's maybe modification of your home. Making sure your what do they call it? The thresholds are flat.
We did that at my parents' house. We put a chair lift in the stairs so they can get up and down the stairs. It became too much for them. We even put a ramp on the back porch for them, so they, when they're in a wheelchair, they can get up and down. My parents are quite elderly now, so these are things you really have to think about. Because none of it's cheap.
Exactly, none of it's cheap, and even if you're going into lowering countertops, or when you think about if somebody's in a wheelchair, they can't reach up into a freezer if you have a freezer on the top, or drawers. They may not be able to get into drawers or cabinets that are up high. So, and then also individuals over 75, they're 4 to 5 more times likely to spend over a year in a long-term care facility, generally from falling down. So a lot of these alterations that you do to the home are to keep them from falling. It's to be more comfortable, make things more accessible and easy.
So you really need to build that into the financial plan when you're young and you're thinking about it. And I got to tell you, we don't think about it as young people.
Exactly.
We think about, we got to have a retirement to live on, but we don't think about all the other things that you have to have.
The costs.
Besides just paying your mortgage and, car payment or
and
whatever.
then staying in the home is a natural, thing that they want to do. However, there's always, long-term care facilities, which are very expensive. And then I just learned about something they call the village concept that some groups are doing in Boston, which I think is an interesting concept. There's like a neighborhood of 50 or so retirees, and they've hired out collectively like maintenance people and people to help them with whatever their needs may be, rather than going into
there are senior communities out there too. You see them peppered around the state of Florida as well, 55 and up or whatever it is. You've got you pay a HOA fee to get your lawn done and all that other stuff, and you still can have a normal life. And there are also assisted living facilities too that are probably not cheap either, but you still maintain some modicum of independence by having your own apartment and things like that.
Right. So the last slide, just as a reminder, some things that you want to look at or some action steps. You want to look at the costs that are going to be associated with different services, providing maintenance with your home, and again, making sure that you've planned for all of these things as well.
Yeah, well, that's why we have people like you around, Heather Noyes, to make us think about these things we don't normally think about, because we're all getting older. And on that happy note, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dan Hines from Hines Coaching, and that would be like budget coaching.
Yes, financial coaching, absolutely.
Yeah, financial coaching, and not like big investment stuff, but
no.
Day-to-day how you manage your finances.
Trying to get out of debt, getting on a budget, the very basic personal finance stuff. So if it's something that your family or maybe school didn't teach you, that's what I'm here to help with.
Well, Dan, I'm glad you said that, because we were talking beforehand, and I remember my son asking me, I think it was in middle school, how do checks work?
Yes.
They don't teach that in schools. They don't teach financial responsibility in school. Like, you don't reach that. Someone's got to teach you somewhere.
Yes,
right?
yes. I mean,
so we sat them down and we said, here's how a checkbook works, you know.
Absolutely.
So how do you talk to your kids about money and finances and
the
respect for money?
I tell you what, one fun thing that you can first do is that no matter what age your kids are, go ahead and ask them how much they think something costs.
Yeah.
Like, how much do they think a car costs or a house costs? You know, it's when they're really little, they might say like $100. Or if they shoot for the moon, they might say, well, I think our house is worth $1 million. And you might laugh. And what you can do, though, is that's a great start to figure out how much do your kids know. You know, how much have they looked at stuff? As they get older, obviously, they might know how much video games cost or some candy or some soda as well. So ask them, how much do they think things cost?
That's a good tactic.
Yes,
too.
absolutely.
Because it gives them a baseline.
It gives you a baseline to know, okay, how much do they know so far and where to start? And you brought up a great point, is that with everyday money stuff, is that you can find teachable moments. Is that if you're taking your kids to the grocery store, or if you're taking them to the bank, or you're taking them to the post office, is they're watching and they're learning things as they go. And so what you can do, especially at the grocery store, is say, hey, I have 2 cans of green beans I'd like to buy, which one's cheaper? So for the younger ones, they start to figure out, you know, which one's cheaper, and they can start to see that, well, they're both cans of beans, so why not just buy the cheaper one? And they can start to learn those lessons as they go. Because it's tough to just say, okay, here's what I'm going to teach first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And those everyday teachable moments are fantastic.
Just going through life. You're buying and selling your way through life all the time. And that's a good time to teach a youngster how to do that.
And so, you know, sitting down with a checkbook, or maybe they can help you pay the bills, is to say, well, our electricity bill is due. Let's go online and click the buttons, and they can start to see how much things cost. Now, one thing you want to be careful with is revealing how much you make. Because the trouble with kids is that they say, well, my mommy and daddy make, you know, $40,000, $50,000, 6 figures a year, and then they're probably going to go to school and start comparing with their friends, and that could be a big trouble.
And kids think you're rich.
Of course they do. I mean, you are the one that's buying everything for them and helping to take care of them.
Reminds me of an old Cosby show when Theo asks Dr. Huxtable, Dad, are we rich? He says, no, me and your mother are rich. You have nothing.
Exactly, yeah. Well, and along with that is that, you know, there's a discussion about allowances as well, as trying to teach kids the value of money and how do you start that. And a great way to start is to start making a list of chores that they need to do. Some things like brushing your teeth, once they get to a certain age, they should just do that. You're not paying them to brush their teeth. That just needs to happen. But as they get older, give them chores that they can earn money for.
So an allowance that's attached to some labor or some exchange.
And some might call it a commission, is to say they get, if they do more chores, you give them more money. Or if they do less chores, you give them less money. So it could be one of those things where they have a set allowance, but if they don't do their chores, they don't get it. And so that's how you start to teach kids to say, well, work comes with money.
What about schoolwork? I mean, can you attach grades to your allowance too?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes, you could do that as well. The only thing is that with some students, maybe they really don't like school, or they're not as good in school. So it's tough to say, well, do well in school, but are you paying for the grades, or are you paying for hard work? And so doing chores is more of the hard work side.
I have to pat myself on the back because we did a lot of that with my oldest. He had chores, he had an allowance, and he had chores, and if he didn't do his chores, he didn't get paid.
Right.
And when it came time to buy his first car, we paid for half.
Yes.
He had to pay for half.
There you
but,
go.
he had to take it out of his savings. To
Right,
get a
right.
car.
So you don't have to make your kids do everything, and you can start to make deals with them to say, well, if they want something, here's how much you need to save up for, and we'll help. A great thing to do is that if you're at the dollar store, maybe the dollar store can be the toy store. Is that they have $1 and they can go pick out a toy. Pay for the tax. So I mean, kids, depending on how old they are, taxes is confusing.
When should they open up a bank account? Your kids should have a bank account right away?
That's a good question. I would say about high school, maybe open up a joint account. As a parent, you can keep an eye on things. You start to teach them how to use a debit card and a checking account and possibly a credit card. But that depends on you and your family and how you feel about that.
Dan Hines from Hines Coaching, thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much for these thoughtful tips, because kids need to learn about money and they need to respect money as well.
Thank you, Don.
And we'll see you next time.